Hello, this is Christine at Spring Creek Bathworks, and I am here to talk to you today about not overbuying supplies. So here I am sharing my soap molds. This is 4 years of buying soap molds, and it's ridiculous. So I decided to show you those and to keep them in the background while I talk to you and share with you some of my mistakes with soap making for both a hobby and for a business. One of them, the main thing, is overbuying. And the root of this comes from two things. The first one is, and I know other people say this, but I didn't listen, so I'm going to say it too. When you start out in a business, you should have some goals. They should be very clear, and I don't want to say limited, but your scope should be limited. You want to, you're going to spend more in your first year or 2 or 3 than you take in. So you're probably going to have a loss for the first at least 1 year, if not 3 or 4. But you have to have some kind of restraint with not spending a lot. And I overspent. So how did this happen behind me? What I've learned about myself is that I'm really inspired by other people. So when other people are talking and are excited about something, you know, I jump on the bandwagon too. So on a discussion group, when someone said, "Look at what Dollar Tree has, this new mold for $1, isn't this a cute flamingo?" I ran out and I had to get the flamingo, you know, and it's like I didn't even have a real plan for the flamingo, or I didn't need the flamingo, but it seemed fun and I figured, hey, it's only $1. The problem is a whole bunch of these molds here were inexpensive. Some of them were $1, some of them actually I got free. But the point is, then you have to store it. So I had to buy these bins so that I could stack them neatly in a closet. And then it takes up closet space. So things do have a cost that goes beyond the money that you spend. Another mistake that I made was I had the "if you build it, they will come" idea. I thought about when I made my cold process soap, my first goal was that I was going to continue with all natural colorant and all natural essential oils only. I would use clays or plant root powders to make nice colors, or I would not color the soap, and I would market to a target audience. But what I learned was that some people buy based on the fragrance, and the fragrances that they want do not exist in essential oils. So they wanted things like pineapple or vanilla or things like that do not exist in essential oils. So I expanded to not just essential oils, but also fragrance oils. I learned some other lessons about fragrance oils that I'm going to just put the topic to the side. But I also got carried away. You know, at first I wanted rectangle bars of soap, which is fine. And I was just thinking monotone, you know, one color, monochromatic, I mean. And then I got caught up in the swirls and designs, and I did see that people do react, customers do react to the visuals, and they like the swirls and the pretty colors a lot of the times. I did get caught up in shaped soaps. You know, it's very exciting, or maybe it's just something that's a change. You know, when a mold came out that looks like a little wrapped present, a little box with a bow, I don't know, it's exciting, and it was a $4 mold from Walmart, so why not? You know, and part of the issue with these things that are at Walmart and that are at the dollar stores is that they are for a limited time only. You know, as soon as they sell out of it, they're often gone forever. And these are seasonal items, and every Christmas season they'll have a new Christmas type mold that's intended for baked goods, but we use them for soap. Soap only. You cannot make soap in a mold that you shouldn't make soap in a mold that you've cooked in, but you cannot cook in a food in a mold after you've made soap. So anyway, I'm losing my track. Basically, you should focus down if you're trying to make this a business. For example, I got the idea that I would make the little shaped things like a little flamingo or a little Lego minifigure, and I would make that in the soap, and then I would make a bar of soap and I would press it into the top so that it was a decorative thing. That did not sell, despite everybody in the soaping world making these and talking about it and oohing and ahhing about it. Honestly, they're not selling for me. So a lot of these are those molds. We call them embed molds, E-M-B-E-D. That means you're embedding little objects into a bar of soap. My cat keeps meowing to go out, and then he refuses to go out. So I'm just going to let him meow over there. Just ignore that. What else? So I bought too many little mini embed molds. I bought too many molds that were of a shape. An issue with the shaped soaps is once you've put the time in to design your soap label to fit your rectangle bar of soap, I'm assuming most people make a rectangle shaped bar of soap. If you change your bar to a round bar or a little present or a Star Wars shape of a spaceship or a rocket or a frog or a whatever, or a flower, now your label won't fit that soap. And something that I didn't realize until I got into selling it was, how am I going to have the label so it can be read, but also have the soap fully visible? So that was a challenge for me to figure out how to do that. Now, another issue with, so the issues are that you might end up having to spend your time and energy designing all new labels, all new label shapes or designs for each of the different shaped soaps that you make. And that is your time and energy. And technically in a business, that's not good to keep doing things that are time intensive for you. What else is an issue? The shaped soaps, I have some single cavity shaped soaps that I have some videos already published on, fairies and flowers and things. An issue with the highly detailed shaped soaps is that if you get one little air bubble, it can ruin your design. And then you have this bar of soap that's perfectly usable but doesn't look right. Who wants to buy a fairy soap with half of her face missing? Who wants to buy a fairy holding a flower when half of her hand is gone? A couple of the molds that I bought had very fine little tiny lines, and like holding I think a flower on a stem or a branch or something, and that little line is so difficult to get the soap into, and also when you release it, it might break, or it might break in transit while you are going to a show, or it might get dented or damaged while you're mailing it through the mail. So these are real issues if you travel to some kind of a holiday show or a craft show, or if you're shipping soap through the mail. Even if you sell at home shows, when you're packing up all your stuff and bringing it to the show to sell, it might get damaged on the way. So that's even more money that you've invested that is now lost. And now you have to either use the bar up yourself or think, you know, if I sell this at half price, will somebody actually buy it because it's usable soap, but it has a cosmetic air bubble flaw. What else can I say about molds? I would recommend that okay, let me back up. People will say you can save money by using a shoebox and you can line it with freezer paper. If you do that, which I have done that, I am freezer paper folding challenged. I can't do it. It's very frustrating for me. But if you can do it, that's fine for you. If you use a shoebox or a non-standard size, you could end up with wonky shaped soap bars. Also, so what I basically recommend is that you get a silicone rectangle shaped loaf, we call it loaf mold, for your soap. Just get one. If you have to, get two. They're like $20 each usually. Okay, so somewhere around $20. Get one of those, and if you have an extra $10, there's little 1 pound things. It's kind of like a square. And when you cut that into 1-inch bars, you'll have four 4-ounce bars that are 1 inch thick. And that's good for testing a new scent. That's a $10 mold. So basically, if you want to save money and time, start out making rectangle shaped soap bars. It's what people love anyway. People who are buying soap to actually use it just want a regular rectangle shaped bar. It fits good in their hand. It's what they're used to. The shaped soaps, like shapes of flowers or something, I thought people would buy that more for gifts, and they were satisfied enough with pretty color and a good scent and a good look to the bar that they weren't as moved to buy a daisy shaped bar or something like that. So that was surprising to me, and now I have all this. I also bought molds that have an appeal to children, and I found that the parents weren't investing, you know, in a $5 or $6 bar that's 4 to 5 ounces of soap. So like Lego theme, Star Wars, superhero, girlish, little girly themes, they're just not selling for me. And what else can I say about all of this? Oh, also, I experimented with cupcake shaped soaps because they were a big trend, and like food shaped soaps. So what I want to caution you about is beware when things are exciting to other soap makers and something is new and fun and it appeals to us and we talk about it with each other. You may find that your customer may not like it. Personally, for me, I tried to use the cupcake shaped soap. It's difficult to use. I tried to cut it down the middle and use half and half. It was kind of stupid, to be honest. I don't get it. I didn't enjoy it. I only had one person that enjoyed it, and I ended up giving her all the cupcakes just to get rid of them. I had purchased piping equipment. I bought like a lot of stuff. I bought all these cupcake silicone molds so it would have the little shape of the bottom of the cupcake. And for me, it's not working out. I also found it was difficult to wrap it and to label it and also to ship it. So if you're going to go into a soap making business, I would suggest that you have a limited goal and that you really try and not overspend on your supplies. Maybe in the future, I will discuss fragrance oils in another video sometime, and I can discuss some other things too, but molds are a big deal. So here is my mold mess. Oh, also in there, a lot of holiday stuff. Easter eggs, Christmas, Halloween, a lot of that stuff. And the problem with that is that I don't seem to be able to sell it in the right time, and then you're stuck. Like, nobody wants to buy a Halloween soap in November and December and January. So it's a very high risk thing. Unless you make a very small number, you have them on display and they catch the eye. That is something that the soap cupcakes did for me at the shows. So anyway, I hope that you've learned something from my overspending mistakes. This is Christine of Spring Creek Bathworks. Have a nice day.